Okay, looks like it's gonna work. No, they were waiting. So once I got it set up, they all clicked in. Clicking in. All right. Good morning, everybody. And the markets stopped waiting. All right. Let's put up some charts. All right. So there were several destinations where it could have stopped on the way up. And as I mentioned numerous times, it's got to break below a prior day's low and close below it. And it did that with authority yesterday. So one red candle does not change a trend. Keep that in mind. It's a potent red candle. We define potent as something big. Right? Like that's a big red candle. What things had collapsed down. At the time we thought, okay, maybe a little W bottom. Didn't happen. Gapped up the next day, up, up, up. Right? There's a big red candle. Things went down. That was a relatively large red candle. Created a retest. So now prices are at, let's see, where's the cursor? A little bit past the middle of that candle. Not a bad start of the day to gap up that far. That doesn't mean it's going to end there. It could be a green candle, could be a red candle, could be a topping tail. We'll see how this develops. Being up where it is, and as far as it's gone for this length of time with unfilled gaps, it's unlikely it's going to continue to move up the way it did, even if it can negate this candle. Or it may just be a neutral day today. We'll see. Excuse me, which would be okay. Our factory work is that we want to see the candle bodies stay in the lower half. So even though it's opening up here, give or take, and maybe it goes a little higher, you can see it's inching up here pre-market. If it closes down here, that is in alignment with the bar that preceded it. And it begins to add a level of confidence that prices are going to pull back. And then we shall see. Pull back to where? There's a nice big unfilled gap down here in the 50 MA. Highly unlikely it's going to happen today, unless Mr. Powell comes out and says, hey, you know what? Things are looking fine to us. Maybe October. And at that point, I think things would melt down to a certain degree, but it's unlikely he's going to say such a thing. And of course, everyone else thinks it's unlikely he's going to say such a thing, and why it would be a giant surprise if he did and be a negative reaction to that. Okay. Now, right, that's the essence, Rocco. That's the essence of bar by bar analysis. Is the current bar in alignment with the bar that preceded it? Right? And then from there, two bars do not create a strategy. Are those now, as we said in MT Live yesterday and other MT Lives, candle patterns are one concept, then other concepts. One of them is location. Do those bars that are forming, are they at a location that those bars historically make sense? And so if we were to see a bar a topping tail bar with a little candle body, it would make sense that we're seeing it in this area of this unfilled gap. And so while these things, maybe I don't know the proper word, I don't want to overstate things, but might seem revolutionary to you or others, I think they are, just for those that um, are not familiar with MTS and how we view price action. Because as I discovered these things, was basically self-taught. The books that are available do not explain things in this manner. So it was revolutionary to me. I was like, oh, that's pretty good, Greg. You come up with that. This stuff sounds pretty good. And as you begin to put it all together, we build what we call master trader technical strategies. At the end of the week, of course, we're going to want to see this weekly chart. Is this going to be an M top? And over time, this is a little baby topping tail candle right there, relatively meaningless in relation to the monster bars that went up. So, we think trading ranges now, or maybe consolidations, but also keeping in mind September, ominous September, because this move up, our internals would lead us to having a belief that the possibility of a correction in September, right, is probable. Probable. And so, and we look at, like I'm showing you here, internals. I think I have another chart of internals. Where did it go? Sometimes this thing's, oh, it was behind this chart. That's right. I was looking at it before. This chart here, right? Well, you can see, remember earlier in the week, the equity put call ratio was down here. I said, that's interesting that it's lagging. It's lagging the total, because usually it moves faster. And now look how it played catch up, and it's into the lower band. Breadth is already deteriorating a bit, and the total put call ratio is into the lower band. We have a signal, meaning be careful, Will Robinson. Remember that show? Danger, Will Robinson. Right? So it doesn't mean it turns on a dime. Right? We talked about this during the week, that they're ripe. Now they're turning rotten. And we had the big nasty bar yesterday. So now we see how things develop. Okay. Just take a peek where the futures are. Then we'll look at SPX. So decent move up here so far into the red bar. Turn days, they rarely, especially after a retracement like this, they rarely just collapse in that way. And, we got the Fed guys going to be talking. So everybody's kind of sitting on the edge of their seat to see what he's going to say. Everybody knows what they want him to say. And so we'll see what that says. All right. SPX. I was kind of surprised. This moved up 20 strikes. Markets are up a little bit, but after yesterday's down day, and markets up a bit here, that moved up 20 strikes. Like, I suppose if this guy came out and said, yeah, you know what, we plan on at least a whole point, by the end of the year, not saying, what month or this and that could get a rally going. We'll see. I've marked off here. 5,500 is the largest open interest expiring today. 5,600 is the largest open interest expiring today. So will it stay in between these levels? If the market, we'll just go back and look at spiders here. You see where they're at? They're at the top there. Let's just get this out of the way. Get that out of the way. If they stay up here, if they can stay above that 5,600, let's go back to SPX. they're right about there. Right? So SPY. Let me look at my other chart here. There. Yeah. It's got that bad tick from the day before the bar. But it's right about there. It's right, as I can tell, it's just above 5,600, looking at the spiders and where they're at right now, just a little bit. So the reason that's important, that's the largest open interest, right, of strikes, call strikes. If this starts to move up, those become in the money and they'll probably start buying calls above that. And it could drive it up. On the other side, if it breaks below 5,600, options are expiring today, it could help drive prices lower. So I'll be keeping an eye on SPX and what that does. And you could look at the spiders since they move pretty much the same and to see how they handle this level and do they get on this side of it or they get on that side of it. And there's a big void below. You can see there's a little support there to the left, but yeah, and news related and so on. But something to keep in mind. And the lower strike, which this may have come up a little bit as prices have moved up, might have come up maybe to 15. Look, 56, not 56, 55, 15, 55. Where am I at here? Oh, I got to switch it to puts. 55, 15, yeah. 10 is okay. You got to go wide or 15, but look, you got a huge support level there. Right? Besides the whole number, it's the largest open interest. And look at this. The open interest down there with yesterday's down day, the open interest from the prior day almost doubled. So that down day really got a lot of bearish sentiment boiling as far as the open interest in those puts. So that's going to be a monster support level. Uh, keep that in mind. If we were to get some kind of a nasty down day, right, odds are it's not going to break below it, and it's so far away that just makes sense just on that level. All right, other markets, industrials had a down day. Okay, big deal. It's at resistance. Not that big of a deal yet. Nasdaq 100, right? Semis took it on the chin yesterday, some of them. That's a pretty big bar. So that's a really good indication of a start of a turn. Stopped on the 50 MA. Right there. All right. Right. We can see the SMHs. They cleared the highs. They looked like they were going to go higher. I mean, this MU trade, which I did, right? It looked great, right? Coming out of there. And then the thing just look how it just come out yesterday and then it just deteriorated all day. The selling was consistent throughout the day. So there's a pretty bad or potent reversal there in that. The Russell had this great pattern. So, and just reinforcing that, look, is no matter how convinced you may be that a pattern is going to work out, doesn't mean it has to work out. So now we're kind of getting that Christmas tree effect, green, red, green, red. Where are they at here? Gapping up nicely. If it can survive holding up there for 20, 30 minutes, maybe it goes up. We don't, it's not crystal clear yet across all markets. Gold, surviving and figure good price action, that it's moving up here. It's in an uptrend. I think it's going to go higher. Silver, shaping up. We get a few more bars there. I think that would be good. Uh, Stabilizing on support down at the bottom of the trading range. And we'll see how much this moves up. And interest rates, interest rates, moving down yesterday. I mentioned, markets going up, interest rates dropping, transport's questionable. There are different belief systems going on out there as far as, hey, rate cuts, they're going to save the day. Bond market saying, we're not so sure about that, but let's see how it plays out. Financials, beautiful up at the top of the range. Now, there's going to be sellers up here. I think we see evidence of that. But let's see what happens today, and into next week. We'll get a little bit more information as to what markets begin to show some relative weakness, which we already see that to a certain level, and some showing relative strength. Now that our internals have given us, be careful, right? Trouble lies ahead. And, we'll make some assessments as to how this turn will unfold and what stocks may get hit more than others. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Happy zero DTE day. I have a couple on my list already, other than the usual suspects, but we'll probably wait till after Powell starts blabbing. And I was asking the green room yesterday, is he going to do any prepared statement, or is it going to unravel slowly? And I don't know the answer. Alarms going off. Shockingly, I only have one. This gap. And we had a long talk in the green room yesterday about what type of patterns that at least I would be comfortable with as new trades in the light of the markets being, that crazy run that Greg just reviewed. And this is one of them. Big old inverse head and shoulder. Gap reversal. And now it's gapping over Wednesday's high. So I'll be watching that for a little pullback. Got it in the middle chart here. Let's go to earnings. Earnings. Oh, what are my earnings stocks? Oh, it's just weird. My platform's been jiggling around. I can't find my earnings stocks. All right, does anybody have, okay, here's a couple of them, but it's not my full list. I disappeared. All right, so Red Robin here, earnings, that something is definitely wrong with that joint. So that looks like heck. Yeah, these are all earnings here. Gap is not earnings. All right, these are earnings. Kava, I have this on my excessive gap watch. Gap and crap, 110. I have that in the bottom right here. This will be a perfect zero DTE to 115s once we're, confident on the top for the day. Yep, work day. Now see that's a more bullish because it's consolidating. But yeah, zero DTE, excessive gap, people profit taking, sure. Yep, put that on the list. Raul asking about SQSP over yesterday's high. Something's wrong with this. The way it's going sideline, like it's tied to a buyout of some sort. but it is a buy setup. It's just it that sideways action concerns me that something's up with it. This one's better, MRX. That's a buy setup. Yeah, you got three little bottoming tails there. Yeah, I like this one better. Go back to earnings. Rost. I didn't do any earnings trades yesterday. I sent one order out and I forget which one it was, and I did not get filled. Um, and I was shocked at how this thing gapped up, I guess, with some of the cousins on Wednesday. But I don't have a bias on that. Bill 52.50, bullish gap, but nothing to do. Into it. You know what? I'm going to set an alarm here at 6:65. If it gives up this gap, then that's a call spread idea. These are two railroads that were, striking in Canada. This is a void. Charlie Papa looks good. And my alarm on Intuit just went off at 6:65. Look at that. So it had one print down here. So let me set it another dollar lower. Yeah, there was some news on GM and Uber. They said they're gonna, start doing some robo driving next year for Uber. And Uber actually posted and gapping down here from a 100% retracement. 10-minute low. This is a beautiful zero DTE call if there's any juice at 75. So that's one of my top zero DTEs right now. Um, there's Uber. There was some news on this uranium stuff. So they were actually sell setups. So a gapping over all this with a void is what we call a failed sell setup. So provided there's a void, which there is, then let's watch that for a nice intraday. For a whole thing, I'm going to Miami. What's the best month to visit? Um, well, it's still hot here. It's summer. So I would say, uh, I don't know, like Greg typed you there, but depends really if you don't like the heat or not. And then come later in the year, December, Jan, Feb. All right, Roku got an upgrade. Another gap and crap, zero DTE watch. Yes, I am right. Yeah, we all know that. Avant. Why am I looking at this? I have no idea. But it's kind of a bullish inverse head and shoulder. Something happened with my list here. I don't remember writing these down. So yeah, I have no interest in these. That needs to go sideways more, LNW. Oh, these are Sam's trades. I didn't go through them yet. All right, my bad. Met is a continuation with a void. COD, same. Cade, DY. Could be a day trade. Continuation breakdown on the 15, Sam. I just saw this thing going by the ticker. I mean, it has the word technology in its title, but that is the total 100% footprint of a bio. Yeah, nasty gaps like that. Look at this thing, $35 to $5 in one gap. Incredible. Um, actually see what it's doing. Baba, we have an open covered call. And with the gap up, I moved the stop to the week's low. And I also posted this on Telegram. We need to roll these calls by the end of the day. Yeah, so I'm just in the miscellaneous stuff now. The CMG bottoming pattern. TIVA I like. Little bull flag consolidation over yesterday's high. We can buy call options. Gap we know about. AMD call spread. Zero DTE call spread would be fantastic. And if it closes weak or maybe a 1, 2, 3, then I would do a directional, target like, just eyeballing like midpoint 145. Fifey, look at yesterday's bar, this thing coming out of a coma on volume. Now, see, when we teach volume, we say it's secondary and we just look for spikes, whether igniting spikes or ending spikes. Look at this igniting volume. Bam. Look at this igniting volume was a little 3-day pop. And yesterday dwarfed these prior volumes. So there's some big money getting into this thing. Yeah, Alex, accounting irregularities are, I say it's like the kiss of death. All right, yeah, I said this was a bullish gap, possible continuation, but yeah, Alex posted a chart there. I mean, there's something weird with this ETF relative to the actual, currently the actual futures and that. Alex mentioned watching copper, so FCX is the logical stock. MRX Raul told us about, looks good. My Intuit alarm went off again. I got gap on the other computer. Let me put Intuit here. So Intuit, Kava, Uber, call spreads. All right, cool. Yeah, let me write those down. This one's stronger, but at resistance. So this is an example of the weaker one is a better trade opportunity to me. So I will set an alarm 26:30. ERMW alarm, Alex, this is yours. Maybe 30-minute high. Look at Intuit tanking here. Yep, it's a gap and fall. So, we're not going to get any juice falling this much. Number one, number two, the spreads are going to be asinine. So I'm not going to even waste my time looking. Kex alarm. We are short this. It's a deep retracement. So we would never expect a new low, but it was still a sell setup with a void. Let me just set a new alarm. 118. Lily low alarm. I've been watching that for being extended. Yeah, it has to get under yesterday's low, but my early alarm went off there, 9:53. You see how I picked that? It gapped up, and I said, "Hey, let's see if it gets slammed." Nothing to do, but you got two topping tails now. Weekly resistance. RBA up alarm, Sam, I am. That is your trade, remember? We have been in that all week long. And it's been very easy to manage. It's such a pleasure having easy to manage positions. So those are easy. It's the rough ones that put hair on your chest. Yeah, HENC, yeah, I like it. Um, I actually remember I've been selling $10 puts, Alex, for 9 cents. So then my cost basis, you say, oh, well, what are you going to do with 9 cents? I'll tell you what. Look at my horizontal line. That horizontal line is my cost basis if assigned. So that's why. Uh, yeah, I didn't have any alarms go off. Okay, my Uber. Uber looks great, 10-minute low, maybe even under like 72.40, that pre-market support. So now I will go to the juice bar and I say, please let there be juice. 75's 5 cents. And it's too early in the day for me to consider next week with Powell talking, but next week, 44 by 59 is all. It's not very juicy. Yeah, it's a gap and go. I told the Telegram people to wait for a pullback, so that's a judgment call. But futures, all four horsemen sold into here at the open. But yeah, we had a long talk yesterday, and I gave it my full green light of that's a beautiful new pattern. Also, your Mike Charlie, I liked. That thing kept running into the close. Strong today too. And Kava. All right, see, there's no reason to do a call spread on this yet. Zero. RBA, Sam I am. Let's tighten this up. How about 80? How about 84.30? Wow, that's far away. 84.51. We sold half yesterday for that looks like $2.45 gain, something like that. Oil's up today, so good thing that our 123 short has not hit yet. I'm ARE up alarm. We have a put spread on that. So yeah, stopped yesterday's low, and I said a bid a penny, so they'll go out at target. Yes. Yeah, I said bid 2 cents. We might be there right now. Let's see. 452. No, not yet. Midpoint is 6 cents. Okay, so let me just tighten this up. $54.68. All right, CCJ, and this would be a good 30-minute high. Uranus, already stronger, gap and go. This one's weaker. Let's see what it does in 30 minutes. Look at a Bitcoin moving here. Oh, Alex, I met this guy at happy hour yesterday, and he was trying to tell me about the Iraqi dinar. He says the government's doing all kinds of stuff and switching over, and it's going to start rocking. So if anybody wants to watch that and give some recommendations. But Bitcoin here, nice retest of the 200. Yeah, KBEs, yeah, continuation pattern, sure. Wow, Kava strong. I think wasn't I, remember I said the premiums were jacked yesterday? I think I was contemplating the 115s. So I'm glad I didn't. Let's see how jacked they are right now. The 120s naked are 60 right now. Snow is still weak. I told you, I hope it keeps on chugging down there to 110. AMD, uh, SMHs, it needs to hold right here to be a 123 for Monday. Let's see. All right, Microsoft is a 123 for Monday. Meta's strong, going sideways. Netflix, that was a nice recovery off the bear gap yesterday. Tesla bouncing here on the 15, but no pattern. A coin up alarm. We have a call spread that expires today. This is an early alarm, but let me see what the juice is right now. We have the 210s, 215s. Midpoint right now is 40 cents. And we're in it at 65. So we're still okay. Tighter break even. Yeah, the stop. Yeah, the stop is yesterday's high. Always let it play out. It's actually a nice pattern, for next week to trade, whichever way this tiny little symmetrical triangle right here breaks, that is a trade up or down. But, I mean, to me, it has to be over the week's high or week's low. All right, Teal, see any Wow, the AB line I just noticed is positive 1800. And that's IWM is the strongest. IWM, there's that continuation we were thought was going to happen yesterday. It closes like this. We buy it Monday, target 220, 222. This Bravo Zulu piece of garbage, we're still in it, but it's garbage. Same with this core, came within 2 cents of stopping us out. Yesterday's low was 801 and stop is 798, but it don't look very good. Yeah, I got an alarm, but it's a beautiful bull flag. I'd like it better for Monday. It closes like this. Because then why? Because then we have a minor 1, 2, 3 and 26 bullish 15-minute bars of support. Remember I was watching Spizzler also? Well, never mind, I saw it at $4, but has to get over this red bar from Tuesday. So never mind. Yeah, glad XOP didn't trigger, but it's still good if it does next week under yesterday's low. I had a CMI alarm go off earlier, but nothing to do now. Yeah, HENC. It closes like this, then next week. We'll set an alarm to 19. And those $10 puts I was selling the other day are now, well, they're 5 by 8. I'm gonna try to put on some more at 8. Join the offer. Yeah, yeah, Sam. Yeah, that was on your list that yeah, you can buy the high. Yeah, that's a total catch-up trade. It's been in a coma. Check puts. There's no weaklings, but uh, spreads are ludicrous. 35 cents by 390. Yeah, I'd say 30-minute high, or maybe wait and see if Powell's going to come on at 10.